Part 2 ending of A Bit Lost, first part down below. Got a message from my lawyer and I think we are close to agreeing on the temp orders. I made a minor concession that they think is a big deal, so hopefully it resolves it. Interestingly, her lawyer starts pushing to talk overall settlement, so it appears she is in a rush to settle everything now. Well, I will definitely use it to my advantage, as I already had drafted a settlement offer which I fired off to my attorney for review. Should be interesting when I head over tonight to our house to pick up a few things. Update on last night, I went over to the house as planned to pick up the rest of my clothes. Wife was surprised at how much weight I have lost. I am down 30 pounds, and am back to pre-marriage weight. My kids have apparently also told her that I have started running and going to the gym, which I never did during our marriage. She was also very shocked when I said that I'm glad we want to resolve this, as I just want this over. As soon as I get to the house, she wants to sit down and talk settlement, so I give her a few details of what I was thinking based on our first conversation on things that she said she wanted and didn't want, and apparently all has changed. Definitely she wants everything she can get her hands on, regardless of the impact to me and my ability to support the kids. With that, I calmly asked her what happened to change her mind, and she now claims she never said that stuff. What she doesn't know is that the original conversation is recorded on my phone and I have it saved. She wanted to avoid going through lawyers, but I guess that won't happen. I knew she would try to pull this stuff, so I have been prepared to do everything through attorneys, and so away we go. All of this was her call. I offered to do all of it without attorneys, but unless she gets 100% of what she wants, she just shuts down and refuses to talk. Oh well. I'm fine with that. No major update since yesterday, but wanted to keep cataloging how I feel through this process. On the legal front, I told my lawyer to stand down for a while. Up until now, I have always been the one making offers and just keep getting shot down because she thinks it's not enough, so I told my attorney to wait. I already had told STBXW that she can make a proposal to me, as I feel like I am the only one trying to resolve this, and she just keeps saying no, thinking that I am trying to screw her over. Well, back to you now, and you can let me know what you think is fair. On the emotional side, definitely doing better over the last couple of weeks. Still worried about the kids, as they always want to be with me and cry for me when they are with their mom, which I'm sure doesn't go down well, but not much I can do about that. I always tell them that both mommy and daddy love them and try to encourage them to enjoy their time with mom, as they will see me soon. As more time has passed, I realize that I am just ready for all this to be done so I can move on from the fighting already. Since she filed, any desire I have had to reconcile is completely gone, and just want to only deal with her in regard to the kids. She is not the person I married anymore, so I guess that makes it easier. That is a sad statement, but unfortunately very true. In the meantime, I focus on improving myself and really have no interest in another relationship anytime soon. I continue to lose weight and am feeling really good about myself, as my self-confidence has returned after recovering from living in limbo. STBXW noticed that yesterday, and I think was a little shocked at how fast those changes occurred in me. Took a day off yesterday from thinking about this stuff and thankfully had no contact with STBXW. It's probably the first normal day I have had since June, and honestly it felt great to just focus on my job, pick my kids up from school and spend time with them at night. Since I told my lawyer to stand down and wait for her attorney to make a move, it's like a peaceful calm has broken out. This weekend will be my first without the kids in a while, as I have had them every weekend for the last 3, switch out due to travel. And I plan on using the time to continue the pattern of not thinking about this and have some fun. First up is new clothes, as nothing seems to fit me anymore, so I have enlisted a friend to help me, as I know I have no fashion sense. And she is pretty opinionated on what I should be doing. Either way, looks like a drama-free weekend has a shot at happening. Made it through a couple of days without the kids and still drama-free. I somehow have been able to disconnect myself from the situation and haven't thought or worried about STBXW. Feels good to get away mentally from this stuff, as I have beaten myself up for the last couple of months because she wanted the separation and now divorce. The support and focus I have gotten from everyone have helped through some dark times, and I am at least now thinking positively about the future. A friend helped me go shopping yesterday, as all of my clothes no longer fit due to my rapid weight loss. My STBXW used to buy my clothes for me, as I hated going shopping, but weirdly, I enjoyed yesterday. My friend has very pointed opinions on my lack of style, so she guided me well. I think, to get some clothes that fit and look good on me. It was nice to be in the mall and get noticed by other women who I have never met, and that really helped the self-confidence grow. I have no interest in dating, but it was fun to connect and talk with a woman who is not trying to destroy me for her decisions. I did it. I managed a drama-free weekend free from the mental anguish that I have been putting myself through. I did some thinking about my situation though, but I did realize that since limbo ended and my wife filed for divorce, I am feeling more positive about the future. Maybe that means she is right, that we actually had grown apart. Could be true. I guess. I recalled the last year or two of the marriage with the intense stress we were going through. My loss of job, relocation, and thought that I didn't really recognize who I had become. I felt like I was always trying to make her happy and in turn become someone who always put his needs behind her, and the kids to my own detriment. I know that family comes first and love my wife and kids, but somehow I got lost in the mix. With time and some focus, I am finding myself again and liking myself too. Is this progress towards divorce? It's a sad statement to see, but maybe this is for the best. I just hope I can keep the positive outlook as we move forward and on. Every day that goes by I seem to feel better about this situation and seem to be doing okay, ever since I told my attorney to stand down. The lack of fighting has been a welcome break. I have given the attorney a series of options I am open to considering so that she has room to maneuver when settlement discussions pick up. The ball is now firmly in my STBXW's court. With peace breaking out for now, I have decided that I need some downtime and booked a trip to catch up with some old friends down south and spend a few days visiting New Orleans just to have a good time and disconnect from my life for a few days. My attorney knows she needs to validate my sobriety level before getting me to agree with anything while I am away. My STBXW will be taking the kids for the week while I am gone, as she owes me for when she took a vacation in Mexico during our separation and I took the kids then. I am torn about this as it will be the longest 1 week that I have been without the kids since they were born, but they are used to me traveling on business once a month for 2 to 3 days in a week. I know they will be fine, but I will miss them. Getting ready to get out of here and disconnect for a few days. Kids with the STBXW, bags packed and sunshine, alcohol, here I come. So ready for a break from all this stuff. I have been away on a mini vacation for a couple of days now to see some family and friends and enjoy some me time. It has been the best decision I have probably made since my STBXW announced she wanted to separate and then filed for divorce. This is the first true break I have had without the kids since before they were born, and being able to disconnect from my life for a few days has been great. I have had time to think about my future and not have to worry about the STBXW lawyers, and it's been very therapeutic. I miss my kids like crazy and can't wait to see them again, but I see the benefit of being able to do this. One thing that has become clear to me during this time is that I do miss the woman I love and married, but she is gone. The one that has replaced her is not the same person, and I don't think that if I had a choice for reconciliation with her that I would take it, because I don't like the new version very much. How sad is that? How did I miss that much change? Yesterday I also received a very nice email from my wife's sister telling me how sad her and her family are for what we are going through, and they are convinced she is making a stupid mistake. In addition, my STBXW's family have told my wife that she is being greedy and asking for too much from me in the divorce, and she needs to be accountable for herself, and that she should only expect me to help with the kids as this was her decision. I was shocked to receive that email, as I have never been that close to her family as they live in another country, but it was very nice to read what they thought of me. No doubt STBXW probably thinks everyone is ganging up on her, but it's not my issue to help with that anymore. I find myself looking for her old self, but I quickly realize that she is not there anymore. 10 years has gone by since we first connected, and I know that people change, but it still saddens me to see what she is now. No doubt I have changed too, but hopefully not like she has. I don't hold on for my wife to reappear, as we need to embrace change and move onward and upward. At least that is what I keep telling myself. The trip continues along with feeling good. Yesterday I sent a text to STBXW to find out how the kids were doing, as I miss them a lot. After usual back and forth about the kids, she asked how my introduction was going. Of course, having no clue what she is talking about, I ask what that means. Answer: I thought you brought your new special someone to introduce to your family. Really? She filed for divorce at the end of August. There is no new anyone, and I was shocked that she would even think that I could move on so quickly. Funny to see a touch of jealousy from her, but there is no truth to that. Either way, I got a kick out of her paranoia and won't let it ruin my trip. On to New Orleans today for 3 days before heading home. In New Orleans now, having a great time and a few too many beverages, and STBXW sends me a message to say that she misses me. One more followed to say, Not sure if we will ever get back together, but I want you to know I love you. What the hell? This from the same woman who filed for divorce without giving us a chance and then accused me of having someone special come with me on my trip. Is this her way of trying to ruin my fun? Since the back and forth with STBXW that I shared yesterday, it continued into the night via text. She sent me a message asking if I still want a divorce. Really? I never wanted one in the first place. Seriously, how crazy is she? As I had had a few too many beverages, I didn't respond to that question as my judgment at the time was pretty impaired. She seemed okay with that and tried to call me later to make sure that I was okay as I sounded pretty drunk earlier. Didn't answer the phone then either. I have been living the 180 for a while now and focusing on improving myself, and it looks like it's finally hit home with her. Of course, I wasn't doing it for her, but it obviously has had some effect on her. Problem is, I am not sure what to do when the topic comes up again. I had a great time on Bourbon Street last night and am paying the price for it today. But it was worth it. Couple more nights to go before I head home to reality, but this trip has been so worth it so far. Last day here today and head back to reality tomorrow. An amazing welcome break from my life and dealing with divorce. Still miss my kids like crazy, but I needed this. STBXW continued with the texts and said she was sorry for where we are now. Not sure if we will get back together, but she still loves me, etc. Nice timing. I went out on Bourbon Street last night and left my phone behind because I came here to get away from this stuff. It's funny how a month after she files for divorce that reality is starting to hit home. Not even dealing with any of this until I get back tomorrow. Need time to sober up. Heading back home to reality today, had a fantastic break from my life and had a lot of fun, but it's time. Truly embraced all Bourbon Street has to offer during my time there and had way too many adult beverages. I miss my kids and am really looking forward to seeing them tonight when I get home. Even though I was away trying to get a break from my pending divorce and STBXW, she continued to text me to make sure I was okay and to say sorry. Do I still want to get divorced? She misses me and still loves me. She initiated the separation, divorce without giving us a chance to work on our marriage. She called me last night to make sure I made it back to my parents' house in another city last night as I fly out from here this afternoon. I told her she never answered a question I texted back to her the night before asking what specifically she is sorry for, and she said it's not something she wants to do over text. Fair enough, but why did she start it that way? Couldn't this have waited until I was back in town? Trying to keep an open mind, but I guess it's back to the drama today. I wasn't thinking about my wife being around all the partygoers, and I had a great time, connected with a couple of women, but wouldn't progress to anything serious as even in my drunken state. I know I am not ready for anything with someone else, had plenty of opportunity but politely declined. That in turn made some more aggressive, but we still had fun without getting physical. Well, definitely back to reality with a bang. STBXW called me to make sure I was able to still pick up the kids as my flight and was cutting it close. She had offered to get them from school if I was going to be late, but I told her I would be able to get them on time. I asked her why she never responded to my question about what she was sorry about. The text or saying did I still want a divorce? And she said it was the text and she didn't mean to upset me while I was away. What happened between Sunday and today? Why would she even ask me that question along with all the miss you, love you messages and then suddenly be cold again? I don't do well with games and I was doing fine, and now I am back to anger that she is doing all this. This has just really pissed me off beyond belief. I am done with games, I am done with being nice. I am just done. She wants to torture me for her decisions, not going to happen anymore. Any hint of being considerate for her now is out the window. I had no intention of being her friend after this, and I will continue to be civil as it relates to the kids, but that's as far I will go. Went home from work last night, picked up the kids, and I was still seething, so decided to go for a long run. Put Pandora on and truly just wore myself out, which felt good as I didn't run at all on my vacation. Not sober enough. This morning woke up feeling much better and back to being positive again. Who knew that I of all people would start to enjoy exercising at the age of 37? I haven't really done any since I was in college because I never enjoyed it, but it has been really therapeutic for me through this process. Besides, got to lose the weight that I put back on when in New Orleans, but I'm still down 30 pounds since this began. Glad the calmer, cooler me is back and I won't let my guard down again. Play your games all you like, STBXW. I will not be joining in. A very interesting couple of days and weekend for me. started with me coming back from my vacation on Wednesday and getting the kids. Some of you may recall my reaction to getting the text messages from STBXW saying she loves me, misses me, and do I still want to get a divorce. Either way, she really didn't want to reconcile but was being melancholy while I was away, and she had the kids for a full week. On Friday morning, get a frantic phone call from her telling me she is homesick and is really freaking out. I have always been the one person she has reached out to when ill or having a bad day, and I calmed her down and promised to go by the house later. I went by about an hour later and sat with her, making her feel better, stroking hair just like old times. After a while, I left so she could get some sleep, as I had the kids on Friday night so she could go on a girls' night out. I planned on dropping them at the house on Saturday and pick up some of the kids' winter clothes. While there, I actually ended up spending the whole day with her, drinking on the deck and just talking. We actually ended up agreeing to a reasonable debt settlement early in the day, which probably saved a ton of money in attorney fees, and then just hung out for the rest of the day. She really noticed the changes in me since we have separated. Weight loss, general happy demeanor. By the time night fell, I was a little too drunk to drive home, so blew off my plans for the night and stayed there but kept on drinking. STBXW offered for me to stay the night versus driving home drunk, so I did. We slept in the same bed for the first time since June and didn't do anything. I got up in the morning, played with the kids for a while, made coffee and hung out for about an hour, and then headed to my place. I realized throughout the day and night that while I still love my wife, it's not the same anymore. We have both changed too much since the separation and probably before, and I realized that I don't want to reconcile. Up until this point, I think it's been the guilt of breaking apart the family for my kids' sake that has driven my issues with it, but in reality, I think this will be better for us long term. It's taken me 2 months of limbo hell, along with 1 month since she filed for divorce, to realize that all of this just 2 days shy of what would have been our 9-year wedding anniversary, and together for 10 years. I am shocked, but I do hope that these feelings are permanent. Doubt that we will reconcile, as neither of us want to. The clarity I received in my own mind on that was liberating. There is no question that I have learned a lot about myself during this process, and certainly lessons learned. I would hope that all my self-improvements will put me in a better place in the long run. I accept responsibility for my part in the breakdown of our marriage, and I will never repeat those mistakes again. Right now, I'm just enjoying being happy with who I am as a man and father. Very refreshing to feel this after being down for so long. We honestly did truly just grow apart in our 10 years together. I think we turned into friends, co-parents with very little between us. These are just some of the quick things I could share, but it probably was a culmination of many things over a period of time. As I said, both my wife and I were to blame for the breakdown, but where I see my responsibility in it, I would summarize as follows. When our kids were born, they consumed our lives, and everything we did was centered on them. As we had no family close by, we neglected to work on us and our marriage, not a lack of desire. Just didn't make the time. Emotional breakdown. At some point I stopped communicating issues and just went along with stuff to stop getting into a fight over anything. Over time, this built up resentment in me, and I would shut my wife out emotionally. Wife was a stay-at-home mom for most of marriage, her choice, and resented me for making her feel like I controlled all the financial decisions. She in turn turned into a shopaholic to punish me. Lose-lose. At some point I became almost self-loathing about myself. I can see that now, and it would have been tough for anyone to live with someone like that. I was unhappy with who I had become and probably blamed her for that. It really boiled down to a lack of communication between both of us. No real efforts to work on our marriage without the kids, and interpretation of financial controls. Taking some of these in isolation is no big deal, but do them all consistently over a 4-year period and it truly builds a wall. I am not shifting blame. She didn't make me do anything I listed. I chose to do it. Whether I infer that she triggered something to make me react that way isn't true. All of those items listed, which is not fully exhaustive, are completely 100%. No doubt my issues. Part of my self-improvement was to learn about my inherent deficiencies in communication styles and normal reaction to just shut down to not rock the boat. It doesn't mean she was wrong to bring up concerns. It's my reaction that made it worse. Like I said, we both are culpable for the breakdown. Life is all about cause and effect. How we choose to deal with that is what makes us unique individuals. I know what my shortcomings were, and I absolutely don't blame her for what I did. No one can force me to be who I am not or determine my actions. I have learned from this, and I will continue to learn throughout my life. She owns it now and has since we separated. She and I really had a good talk this weekend that helped me come to my realization that I don't want to reconcile, so it's all good. As part of this process, we get the benefit of only being accountable to ourselves. She's learned a lot of things, financial responsibility for one. And so have I. Today is the day I have been dreading. Today is our 9-year wedding anniversary. 10 years of being together. And our first one apart. I still feel that I don't want to reconcile and am still feeling that divorce is the right option for us, but I must admit that I am a little sad. I know it's normal to feel this, but seeing as over the last couple of days I came to the realization that I don't want to get back together and have been optimistic about the new future for me, I really don't want to step backwards. Hopefully I will reminisce on the good things about our marriage today and tomorrow remember all the positive things about my future. No more steps backward. Well, the day was going okay but still a little sad until I got a text from STBXW around 1 p.m. I quote, "Happy would-be anniversary. Sad that I got no flowers." My response, "Happy would-be anniversary to you. Sad that I got no flowers either." Seriously. We have been separated since June and she filed for divorce last month. We had a good discussion this weekend, resolved our asset division, and I shared with her that I had no desire for reconciliation anymore. We were good and I was happily moving forward. Why would I have sent flowers to celebrate a 9-year anniversary of a marriage that will be ending soon and we are apart with no plans to see each other today? One thing, it brightened my mood a ton for some reason, so at least that made the day brighter for me. Not really sure why. Survived the anniversary day, I won't lie, as it was tough, but I am back to feeling more positive again, which is good. Most of my thoughts were truly about the good things about our almost 9-year marriage, and having the kids with me as a reminder of 2 of the best outcomes of the marriage helped. Also remembering on who the person I married has become helped too. This morning just woke up and felt back to how I was feeling pre-anniversary. Back to feeling good about myself and my future. Ready for this to be done so I can move on with my life and stop talking to STBXW and attorneys about divorce, filings, etc. Let's keep the good vibes rolling. New twist last night. STBXW texts me to let me know she may be losing her job. She knew I was out last night, but I headed into the parking lot to call to find out what was going on. Basically, her company is losing a major part of the business and she thinks that they will cut her loose as her position may no longer be needed. I'm sorry this could happen to her and it sucks that this is pre-final divorce. What am I expected to do if it happens? I am no longer responsible for her well-being, only our kids. I don't want to reconcile. I have made too many improvements to go backwards. I like the new me, scratch that. I love the new me and I am not willing to return to what I was. I also couldn't think why this situation would make sense for an R anyway, as all it would do is last a short while and I will probably be right back where I was a couple of months ago. No way I want to repeat that, just hope she is wrong and her job is not in danger. Update on STBXW job front. She seems to think she will be okay after talking with her boss. Basically, she found out about the impact from someone in another area and had not received official word, but her boss basically told her, "Don't worry. You will be fine." So hopefully that's a bullet dodged. On the personal side, I have been out for a couple of evenings this week with friends just to have a good time. Definitely more sober than my vacation this time, and even though I met some nice women, I realized I am not ready to think about dating yet. I guess when STBXW told me she was going on a date with someone she had met, I figured I should try too. Sadly, don't think I am there yet. Went to a new funky bar that opened up in the party area of my city and had a great time with a few friends and met some interesting people as well. Reason I figured that I wasn't ready to date yet was when a woman I had been chatting with, flirting with most of the night, asked me out. I almost shut down. She was very nice and attractive and I will probably kick myself down the line, but I couldn't commit to a date. Happy to hang out and have fun, but don't want to give anyone the wrong idea. Ironically, she is a divorce attorney, found that out later, and completely understood when I explained that the divorce isn't final and wouldn't feel comfortable with dating anyone until that is done and dusted. Another interesting weekend for me as I continue down the healing process. I had spent a little time with STBXW for kid reasons, and we continue to get on well with little to no fighting between us anymore. It also hit me that the more time I spend with her, the less that I would want to still be married to her. In talking to her about a few things, it came across to me that she isn't actually over me yet, which is strange as she is the one who requested the separation and divorce, but that's her issue now, not mine. We were even able to joke about some things, including some of the weird single people we have met during our time apart. I also was able to flirt with her without it really meaning anything other than just for fun. Yes, time heals. You were right, I admit it. It was nice, but I was much happier when I left. In a way, I am sad for her and what she has turned into, but I do hope she finds happiness for herself. She is truly lost right now, but it's not my responsibility to make her feel better or find herself anymore. I honestly believe that I am over our marriage and ready to move on, looking back to where I was in the marriage. I was truly miserable and didn't like my life or myself. Now, I am truly happier without her in my everyday life and am very happy with the person I am turning back into. If given the chance to rewind everything and go back to the marriage, I would probably run away screaming. I ran across a quote that I think is somewhat appropriate for me and very true in so many ways. Never regret anything because at one time it was exactly what you wanted. So, get a call from my attorney today to check in with me, as she hasn't heard anything from my STBXW attorney on the settlement offer we agreed to. Basically, waiting for confirmation in writing on STBXW verbal agreement to the settlement we negotiated without attorneys so it can be drawn up and signed. Waiting period will be over October 30th, so we could file and be done by the end of this month. Attorney asks me if I think she is intentionally stalling. Oh crap, don't think so and really hope she doesn't. There is nothing left to do other than draw up the agreement and sign now, so why wait? I hope I was wrong about her not being over me, but it's too late if she isn't. She may have initiated the separation and filed for divorce, but I am so on board now that I would personally write the agreement in blood just to get this done. Please tell me this is not another game. I knew I should have filed the counter petition for divorce so she couldn't pull her filing. At the time I figured she was so certain that it was just a waste of money. Plus I still hoped to reconcile at the time. Again, hope the attorney is wrong and we get this done and dusted. Update on status of paperwork. Still none received. I spoke with STBXW last night and dropped in a comment about how my attorney thinks she is stalling and was wondering if STBX was trying to reconcile. Knowing my wife like I do, I knew that would send her down a spiraling path and she would deny that she was doing that just because someone said the opposite. I just politely reminded her that everything was agreed and all that's left is confirmation from her or her attorney, and we can draft and be done by the end of this month. I know it was poking the bear to do what I did, but I just want this over with. Plus, it serves as a reminder to her that I don't need to take her BS anymore and it's time. Update finally, apparently poking the bear may have worked. I haven't spoken with STBXW since that conversation on set, and she calls this morning to let me know that her attorney is drafting the settlement that we had discussed and she will be reviewing with him on Monday to get to my attorney. Only took her 3 weeks. Now I won't be holding my breath that she won't want to sneak a couple of things in there that we didn't agree, but at least it's forward momentum. If there are no games, this can finally all be done on the 31st of this month. Personally, I continue down my happy path. Actually went out on a couple of dates in the last week and generally had a good time. It's sad that I had forgotten what it was like to be treated nicely by the opposite gender, but again only reinforced that this is the best path. Onward and upward. A week later, personally, I am doing great. Continue to enjoy my kids and actually took them away for the weekend last week and had a blast. Dating is going well, and while I am not looking for anything serious and being totally upfront about that, there are a couple of women who seem to enjoy my company. It's been so long since someone of the opposite gender has treated me nicely. I had almost forgotten what it was like. Pretty sure I can say I have detached and moved on, but I will wait to declare that as soon as the paperwork is signed and official. Hopefully. That will be soon. Today would have been the day the divorce could be final, but as it stands, I still haven't received the documents from her attorney that highlights what STBXW and I agreed. She called me on Friday to let me know that she has the documents but just hasn't had time to review before turning over to me. She claims she is not stalling, but seeing as I documented our agreement on October 2nd, there is no real reason for it to have taken a month to get to this point. In addition, she asks if I can take the kids for 10 days in the next week or so, as she would like to head back to Europe to see her family as her mother is ill. I say no problem, happy to have the kids, and then she proceeds to tell me that she is alone, has no support and needs some time out. This shocked me a little, as she had a girls' week in Mexico in August and I have had the kids more days than her and I am in the same situation. Also, she filed for divorce without working on us, so she should be happy as she got what she wanted plus tremendous financial support from me thanks to the courts. I think her issue really is that I am fully on board with the divorce now and just want it filed and done. She then proceeds to invite me to the house so we can share Thanksgiving with the kids. Not sure about that. My life is good right now. I cannot wait to legally be done with all this so she can move on. A year later, I wanted to share with those of you beginning down this path some of the insights I had during this very difficult period and my emergence from the funk I went through. 1. The 180 works. It was a little counterintuitive to think that it would, but it really did. It helped me focus on the areas of my life that I could control and eliminate drama. It allowed me to focus on reviewing on what I needed to do to make myself a better person for me and my kids. I figured out through this who I am and what I wanted in my personal relationships and was much better for it. I took the time to reflect on what I was and wanted to be and took the steps to improve me as a person and learn to like myself again. 2. Exercise and hobbies are key. I got myself in shape, again for me, and healthy and explored various hobbies I had let go by the wayside during my marriage. I focused on my kids and had a great time re-engaging in their lives without the effects of my marital issues impacting our time together. I started to enjoy the little things again without realizing how much the marital relationship strains were affecting me in all aspects of my life. I felt good about me. 3. Relationships. After implementing the 180 and turned my focus on improving myself and acknowledging my part in the marriage breakdown, I realized that we stayed together due to my guilt over hurting the kids. While separated, the kids got to see a happier dad, and that helped for them to be more involved with me and allowed me to truly enjoy my family for the first time in a long time. My relationships at work and with friends also greatly improved with my attitude and outlook improving. So, I guess the next question some of you would ask is, did my ex and I reconcile? The answer is no, but I am very happy about that. Once I went through the self-reflection and got over the guilt about the kids, I realized I was much happier not married to her anymore. My ex also noticed the big change in me and attempted and has continued to attempt to reconcile, but it won't happen. I love who I am and what I have evolved into, and I am not willing to go back. I slowly started dating again and got to enjoy meeting new people and having fun exploring new relationships. When the divorce was final, I had to push it through the courts as she started to backtrack. It was a sad day reflecting on the past, but it was good to allow me to continue to move forward. My comment: how you guys like this long final ending? You prefer one long story or separate it into 2 parts? I think the details are important to understand the OP's personality. You agree? Comment down below. Sub and bell and maybe change is a good thing.